Hello and good evening. We are live and it's Friday the 3rd of November and it's Trisha time with Trisha. So, tonight I'll wait until a few people are watching and hopefully some comments will appear and we'll crack on with making this lovely little zipped concertina pouch. Nice and easy, which is how I like to do it. So I hope you've all had a good week. Hello Fiona, good evening to you. And there's Heather, hello. And Bev, hiya. And Sue, oh yes, I can see you're looking forward to this one. And hello Sarah, hello Liz. Evening all, says Liz. And there's Dorothy as well. And Christine, I'm having a little suck on a polo because I'm hungry. Hello Gita, and hello Jill, hello John. Hope you're watching tonight. Hello Maria, and hello, who's coming up next? So, it's a little bit chilly. I'm not in the conservatory because it's cold, but I'm upstairs again. Hi Lindsay, hope you're okay. Hello Pollyann, you're here too, good evening. And hello Mavis. Mavis hopes we're all well. Hello Kirsten. I hope we've all got over. John's here as always. Jolly good. Hello Jane. I hope everybody has got over the nasty weather. I don't know if we've got more to come. More than likely, but I hope you're all okay. Hello Sue. Evening to you. Trish time and everyone. Happy weekend. Hello Pamela. Indeed. Happy weekend. Hello Vanessa. Lovely to see you tonight. And hello Linda. And Sandra. Hopes we're well. So I thought tonight, as it is a bit chilly and Martin is cooking, Storm, oh my goodness, Storm Deborah. Hello Yvonne. Had a bit of sunshine today, did you? I didn't. No, it looked like rain all the time, but it didn't actually rain. Oh, hedgehog food out. Hello Carolyn. Oh dear, oh dear. Hello Beverly, and hello Patricia. So, what's for dinner? Spag bol tonight, chopped finely. Gosh, I have to take this polo out in a minute, just in case. Oh, Sue had sunshine today. Lovely. Doesn't know what to do. Hello Marion. Lovely to see you. Can you send Martin over, please? You're in the kitchen. Oh, goodness. He does it one night a week, and he likes to do it on a Friday, so that's fine by me. With his stick, because, you know, he can't actually stand up and walk through all the parts of the kitchen without the stick, which is, oh, just wish this new date would come. Yeah, he is a bit of a keeper. He can be a naughty boy, but I tell him off. Hello, Carol. Yes, can't remember, Carolyn. I haven't looked for the last hour and a half. I had the children till quite late. Hello, Jan. So I haven't been back to the computer apart to put the file on for tonight's. Let me show you it. So here it is, and I haven't brought my popper tool up, but there's plenty. Hello, Janet. Don't the weeks keep flying by. So this little popper, I did show it in another one during the week. If you have a look at that, and I haven't brought mine upstairs, so, but I'll show you the inside. Nice little zipped insert, space this side, space that side, and it is about, let's just have a look, it's about 7 by 5.5, so it's a decent size. I will, with time permitting, make a smaller one as well, so it is sort of mobile phone holder size, but this was the first one. Oh, lovely, Vanessa. Jolly good. Yes, so a little bit smaller than this, but this is really good. And I gave some sneak peeks to some of you the other day. And one of my mum's friends, who's a bowler, hello, Gita, she needed nothing to be embarrassed about. She wanted something to carry her pads. This is a TENS Soft 6. So rather than needing to go to the loo and carrying this, I thought it would be ideal, and it fitted perfectly. Now, there is space for 2, and I thought what I would do is put a second, this popper, a little bit further up, so that then when it expands, it can fit on the top one. When she's only got one in there, it can go on the second. Hello, Jill. So that is what we are going to make tonight. You can see the zipped pocket patches in there. So you can use as many colours of fabric. I have used, let's have a look at this other one. I have used the same on the outside as the inside for the lining. And then the gussets at the side, I've used a different fabric. And have I used, yes, I always think it's quite nice to see inside of the zipped part a nice fabric there. So I've used the same fabric for the outer of the zip bit as the inside. So that's what I'm doing tonight as well. But it is nice and easy. And as you know, good evening, Shirley. This is Sunshine Soul. Sunshine Soul, is it? Yes, I think so. Still got a little bit left in long quarters. And you'll be able to make one of these out of a long quarter, which is good. Okay. So for Sew with Trisha members, the PDF for the template, which we need to make the gusset part, is there with the measurements for each of the pieces you need. If you're not a Sew with Trisha member, but you're watching tonight, welcome, and it's lovely to see you. And you should be able to follow from the demo as to how you make this. But should you want to purchase the template that goes in here and the measurements for this one, they are on the website, or it is on the website. There's no written instructions. Hello, so you can find me. Oh dear. Oh, Pollyanne's downloaded already. It is on there for £2. So as a Sew with Trisha member for £5 a month, this is one of the additional extras. And next Tuesday there'll be a brand new bag pattern, which the following month will be on the website for £6. There will be a block of the month PDF, there will be a mini quilt PDF, and anything else that comes along during the month. Now let's see. No, we've got 4 Tuesdays. So we will get a sewing technique, and if there's a PDF, hello Bridget, and hello Karen. There will be PDFs for appropriate times, but you usually get far more, or you do get, not usually, you always get far more than your £5 worth of value. So as I say, as a member of Sew with Trisha, have a look on the website. It's there to sign up if you'd like to. And, oh, there's Jack. Hello, Jack. And for just £5, and you can sign up on the website. If you make your payment, please then request to join the group. So go onto Facebook, find Sew with Trisha and request to join, and Lindsay or I will approve you straight away. So it'd be lovely to have your company. We've got quite a following within the group, and all the ladies love it. And they are a wonderful bunch of ladies. Private group, so everything's safe and secure. Hello, Karen. And we have a lovely time, basically. So this is what we're going to make tonight. So let me show you first of all what we need. And I've just been, because I had the grandchildren so late, I've only just managed to get this round. And I had visitors all day when I got loads to do, but never mind. So you'll need 2 outer pieces. So these are my outer pieces. I know you did, Jan. That was a good move, but lovely to have you. Oh, thank you, Sandra. So I've got 2 pieces for the outer, and one of them I have put some fusible fleece on. This is on the website. I use it so much. So just 1 piece of fusible fleece. I've put it on wonky, but it doesn't matter. I think in the instructions I've just put the same size as your piece of fabric, outer and lining. But I trimmed mine so that it was a little bit narrower, which is always a good idea. But then I put it on skew width. Can you see how it's nearly at that edge, but it's not there? But it won't matter. So 2 pieces like that. We then want 4 pieces, which is going to be our zipped pocket. So I've got 4 pieces of fabric, 2 of which I've just fused some G700 on the back. You don't need to, but I just think it gives it a little bit more body. You could in fact put it on all 4 pieces, but I only cut to, not thinking straight. Oh, thank you everybody. I'm glad you enjoy it. But we have 4 pieces for our zipped pocket, and then we have, these are my gussets. So this is the shape. This is the shape for my gusset pieces, and we have got 2 of those, 1 for each side. You could put G700 on the back of these, or an interfacing. I haven't, and it still works really, really well. But you could do, and it wouldn't be a problem. So, let us see. Oh, I am threaded up, that's good. I've got my light dipped low. Let's just go onto our 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we will, oh yes, we'll leave that. So just a normal standard stitch. Well, I've got it slightly smaller. Usually it comes on about 2.5, but I've got it on 2. So this is just my template here. So this is what the PDF will give you. It will give you that shape and the measurements for all of those pieces. So let me see. Let's come down here. Oh, it seems a bit wobbly. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to remember how to do this. Now, have I shaped my... I have. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to put my 2 pieces together. I'm just going to shape one end. I'm going to make it a little bit rounded. So I'm just folding them in half, and then either freehand, so I've got my raw edges here, all 4 raw edges, and I'm just holding them together. Let's see, I haven't, oh, have I got a pen? Yeah, let's see if I can find something circular. I don't suppose I will for a minute. So if you've got something circular, which you can place on this corner and draw a line and then cut, or I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to give it a curve like that all the way round. So now I've got that curve. It's going to be the same at both sides. So what we're going to do is we are going to, I might even put a couple of pins in here just to hold it together. So let's hold that there. We're going to line up all these edges, and we are going to stitch the majority of the way around. And let's just put a pin over here. So I'm going to leave a gap in this long edge here, probably about, what would I do it? Probably about 3 inches long. So let's just go under the needle there. Let's just bring you in. Why am I? Oh, that's it. A little bit wobbly on there. So there we go. Let's just bring that in a little bit more. Okay, so let's find the foot pedal, because I haven't been upstairs for a little while. So we will start, tuck my hair behind my ears, and we'll start stitching. That's it. So I'll reverse just at that beginning, because that's where we're going to be turning the work. So I'm going down to that bottom edge. Oops, and I'm just 1 step too far. And then we will swivel that around, just pivot so that we can come along this edge too. And I start where I'm going to leave my opening. That's it. Oh, see, a little bit too far again. It's when you get used to a certain machine, and I haven't used this one for a little while. So I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is my usual. Oh, it sounds so nice, my little brother. Right, and then I'm coming around to a curve, so I'm going just a little bit slower, just to get round here, and pivot as we go. And I think the pin took it just that little bit there, but just a little bit slower, so I can just keep that going and keeping my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Push the fabric over to the edge, and I'm coming down to just about where I'm going to stop there. Cut, yes, I usually do that with my foot, don't I? So let's just take those pins out and go back out again. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim off these corner points down here. Oh no, I have got a pokey tool, that is good. And then what I like to do, around this curved edge, you can just clip like this into it if you want to, or you can cut out little triangles like those, like there. But what I like to do, or pinking shears, but I like to just trim it down to about 1/8 of an inch or so, or even just slightly less than that. I went a little bit close to those edges there, and because I've got a little bit of, I've got some of the fusible fleece, which I'd already fused onto the back there, but I'm just going around here. Let's just see, yeah, ooh, I'm just going to go back into this a little bit because I've almost missed that. So I'm just going to come down here. I think my fabric didn't, that's better. It was right on the very edge there, so that could very well have pulled through. So what I'm going to do now is go to my opening here, and I'm going to push it through to the right side. A 3-inch opening makes it nice and easy to push through, because we are going to press this in a minute and top stitch all around the edge. So around this curved part here, I've got my finger inside and I'm just pushing my finger around that edge, okay, like so, and to make it, give it a nice curve. And then we'll just push those corners out with your pokey tool or your kebab stick, just to give it a fairly nice point there, taking care not to poke through. And then what I can also do is just root that round that edge there, and then I'm just going to give it a good press. So let's move that over there and just point me over to the ironing board here, and there we go. And pop this on. I only had it on a short while ago, so it should be fairly warm here. Let's get my body out of the way. So just roll those edges so that the seam is right on the outside, and give that a nice press, and along this bottom edge as well, and then around this top here. It's all nice. So it's got a nice curve there, and then round this side. And then what we want to do here, where the opening is just to tuck those edges in. Whoops, there we go, that's better. Let's just tuck those edges in, just around there. So what I find is, this is where if you haven't got the interfacing on one side, you can turn that or push that 1/4 inch seam allowance in, give that a press, and then this top edge you can just fold in to meet the other. And I'm just holding that in with my fingers there. Let's just tuck that in, just so that we've got a nice straight edge, which, as I say, we are going to be top stitching around there. If we've got a nice straight edge, and then we're going to top stitch so it looks all complete there, and I'm going to top stitch all the way around. While I've got the iron on here, I'm just going to give these a press. I think there's a little fold mark in the middle, just so that we're ready in a moment. So we'll go back to the machine now, and we will just top stitch the whole way around this edge. So wherever, there's my gap. I'm going to start where the gap is. Let's just trim that little bit of thread there. So just pull those two, and I'm going to stitch fairly close to the edge, but make sure that that is caught. There we go. So that's it, nice and close to the edge, and I've kept it on the same stitch length there, so I'm just pulling that out so that I can see the edge, and so that I can make sure that I catch both those layers in together. So top stitching all the way around, one more, and then pivot around. You can probably notice that I have the knee lift. So if you have a knee lift on your machine, give it a go. It is lovely. I love it. It just saves putting your hand behind the needle to lift up your presser foot, and you can just whiz your way around. Oh, my eye's getting a bit tired. I don't know if that's it. So slowly around that curve. It's nice if you can get a nice straight outline there, all the same distance away from the edge. And the easiest way is to just go that little bit slower to give you a nice continuous line, and carry on all the way back till we get to, oh, went off a little bit there. There's a bit of thread, and we should meet up where we started. Okay, so let's just trim that away there, and on the reverse. Now this is where we are going to, it's going to be hidden here, so if it's not too good, it doesn't matter. So I've got that is my outer all ready for my zipped pouch to go into. So let's move on to the zipped pouch. I have a zip. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, you need a zip. The zip needs to be, I think, at least 8 inches long, and we'll trim some back. This is much longer. So we're going to take the pieces as if they're our outer piece that has got the G700 on. Let's just get back here. And I've got the zip pull facing upwards. So I'm going to take my, let's see, there is a right way up, I suppose. No, it's all, so I'm going to put my fabric right side down onto my zip. Now, what makes life easy is to have a zip that is much longer than my piece, so that I can trim some off, but I don't have to, there we are, I don't have to just make sure it measures, because I'm going to trim the excess off because I don't need it. So the outer piece has gone right side down, and then a piece that hasn't got G700 is going underneath and going right sides together. So we can line that up just there, make sure that lines up, and we'll pop a pin in there to hold it together. So just make sure that that's in exactly the same place. And you can either pin your zip all the way down, or I just line my zip up like that, put my finger down on it and hold that together. Now I am going to move my needle all the way. So I've left my standard foot on, but I've moved my needle all the way over to the left, so that I can then, I don't have to change my presser foot. So that's it. And then I'll just pop that down. I've got all my layers together. So the edge of my foot is up against the zip. Oh, that got in the way a bit there. That's it. There we go. So I'm still just going to keep checking that the zip is in line with my lining piece. And, gosh, these don't look too, that's better. And popping that down onto the zip as well. So I'm making a zip sandwich. There we go. So we'll go along there, and then we'll take that over. I think that looks as though that might have slipped just a little bit, but yeah. So we'll trim that little bit away here. I think my cutting can't have been too good. I was doing it in a hurry, so let's just trim that little bit off there. So having got my zip in here, I'm then going to fold the lining piece underneath, so it is like that. And then, so you can see there, let's make sure that is down, just pull that away from the zip and the top piece as well. Line up those edges there, pull it away from the zip here, and then just top stitch along this top edge. So I'm still using my foot in exactly the same position, or you could put your zipper foot on. So I've just top stitch along there and trim the thread. Now we need to do the other side. So I'm going to take the other piece of outer fabric with the G700 or the interfacing on, and I'm going to place it down onto the other side of the zip. So that lines up. And I'm also making sure this lines up with those outer edges of the piece we've already sewn. So this time I'm just going to flip it up like so. And oh, it just made me think, oh, but that's lining's the same. Now I take my lining fabric and I'm going to place that on top of the zip here. So just line those pieces up, and that should be exactly the same as the other piece there. We can always just trim this a tiny bit if it's not exact, but I think we will be fine. So now I'm just going to stitch, pin along here if you'd like to, or as I'm doing here, just stitch away down and cut the thread. So then we can open that up. So this is the reverse, because you can see the zip pull is underneath and the top is here. So we'll pull that back, and there we have our zip inserted. So again, just pull, you can press here, or let me just nail press along there. Pull that lining away, and then the top fabric, just pull that down so that meets nicely. And then we're going to top stitch along here as well. So it's something you don't have to top stitch, but what the top stitching does is it helps keep the lining fabric away from the zip coil. You know how in years gone by, when you didn't used to, and you undo the zip and then the lining catches in the zip, that's what could happen. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take our outer part, these two pieces here, and we're going to pop those together and line up along the long edge, and we're going to stitch across that long edge at the bottom, and we're going to do the same at the lining side as well. So in a minute we'll line that up, and I haven't taken off, so let's go back to our 1/4 inch seam allowance. So 1/4 inch. This is the outer, so I'm just stitching along that bottom edge. Forget the sides, just along the bottom edge here, and cut that thread. And then I'm going to turn around, so I've now got the lining, and I'm going to match those so that they are perfectly aligned, and we're going to stitch across here. So 1/4 inch again, and stitch the whole way across. Okay, with me so far? Nice and easy. So now we've got these two pieces here. We've got a tube here and a tube here. What I like to do for ease, open my zip a little bit like that, so that we can then turn it to the right side. Okay, so we're turning it to the right. I'll open it a little bit more. So don't trim your zip at this point. So I'm opening it to the right side. I've got my lining fabric on the inside, and there's my outer fabric. There's my zip pull. So we can, we've still got we haven't trimmed it yet, but we've got our zip well and truly placed in there. And I'm just putting my hand in there, just to make sure the lining is lined up with those edges here inside. So let's just pull. Oh, I've undone my thread. It's because I'm messing about with it there. Right, it's just. This is the easiest way to thread a needle I've come across ever. So just going to go over to the ironing board again, because what we're going to do now at the ironing board, I'm just going to press this. Okay, so there it is, and I'm going to put my finger in there again. So I've got the zip coil right on the top. I've got my finger in there, just pulling that down, and I'm going to press along or all the way over here. So let's just press that down there, and then I'll just go to the other side and just push that in as well, like so, so that we've got all the lining in there. There we are. So that's just made that nice and flat. Oh, got a bit of, oh, I know, it's off the fusible fleece. That's a little bit of adhesive there. So you can see I've got the zip here, and there is my purse part. And the bottom is enclosed, which means when we insert this, there's no, different concertinas, it may be open so that anything will fall out that are to the sides, but this won't, because we have it all enclosed with a zip. And these sides need to be open, or they don't need to be closed, because we're going to cover those in a minute anyway. So, next thing we are going to do, down at the machine again. There we are. So, I'm just going to set it aside, because we are going to trim the zip, make sure the zip pull is over here. But before I do that, I'm going to make up our gussets, because when we have the gussets, we are going to pop the edges that are raw at the moment. We are going to pop those, the edge of the zip, the pocket, into the gusset. So we are going to fold these right sides together in half, like so, and we are going to leave a little gap at the bottom here, because we're going to stitch from just along, perhaps half an inch or so in, and up to the fold there. So let's just pop our needle here. So I would just reverse, that's it, just reverse a bit there, and then go up to doing your 1/4 inch. So pivot now, and without stretching, because this is a diagonal edge, so I'm just going all the way to the bottom there, and we'll reverse and snip. And then the easiest way, so that we're always stitching towards the fold, the easiest way is to flip it over and start at that bottom edge again. So when we start, we'll do a couple of back stitches, and we'll go to the other side, and then again, just allow the machine to take the fabric into it, and then up that diagonal to the fold, and trim. Okay, so we've got that one done. So there's our one. We're going to turn that to the right side in a moment. So we'll take our second piece here and fold that in half, align that short edge, and then, as we did before, we're just going to a couple of stitches and a couple of stitches back, and up to that edge, and up we go again, just allowing the fabric to float under the needle, and cut, and then, as I said, flip it over, which then means we can start along that short edge again. So a couple of stitches forwards, couple back, up to that corner. So it's a very short distance along there, but it's just enough to get around that corner so that we get a fairly decent turn through there. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to trim off that little point there. We'll trim off at that point and those threads, and we'll trim just there and there, trim that away as well without cutting the fabric, and trim just there and there and the bottom corners as well, so that when we turn through we've got a fairly decent point. So as you can see, quite narrow, but let's see, I've got my pokey tool here, so what we'll do, we'll poke it in at one corner and then push that down here, and we can pull that through. So there it comes. So don't try and pull that through any other way. It is much easier. Right, so it's all come through. So now in that little hole at the bottom, I can now pop this, it's a knitting needle, pop that in there and just poke that corner out there, whiz across that top piece and poke that out, and then down to this bottom edge. And by going, there we are, just push that out, and then we have got a tiny little corner at the bottom there, like so. And we can just tuck that 1/4 of an inch seam allowance in a moment and give that a press. So there's one. So what I did before, go from, here's our gap here, but go from this corner here, just tuck that in because it's a bigger area, and then pop your pokey tool into that bit, go down to that little hole, push the fabric through, and then you can pull the rest of it through there as well. So just give it a little ease. I did leave, it's not a very big space to leave a gap. Could have left it in, no, if you leave it in the side though, it is prone to, because it's a diagonal cut, it's prone to stretching. So having got that there, again, I've just poked it in, going up to those corners, flip it over and go up to that other corner, down the side, and then we can go into these bottom corners here to give us just that little short edge at the bottom, but a decent corner. Okay, so we can tuck. Now that needs a good press. So let's pop our iron on again, and we will press over here and just roll those edges out. And we'll do the top there, and well, I'm used to using my iron that I leave on the side, but I can see I need to pull that out just a little bit more. So let's just pull this, just putting my seam ripper in there, just pulling that corner out, that little point. That's better, so that we can give that a press. And then at the bottom here, just tuck in that 1/4 of an inch, just to give that a nice straight edge at the bottom. Broken my nail today, so it's hard to pop that in, but that's it. We've got that popped in there now. Right, giving that a press. So there's our first one, and here is our second one. So just roll that edge out there, across the top, and roll that one out there, like so. And then again, we can just tuck that little edge in here, like so. We want that to be a straight edge down here, so as straight as you can get that, and then give that a little press. Okay, so we have both of our gussets now ready to go into or around our zipped pocket. Okay, so there they are. Now the first thing, I like to just have a top stitch. This is going to be at the top in our pouch. This is going to be here. I didn't on this, but I'm going to top stitch along this edge because I think that would look, I think I did on the other one. So let's just have a look. So I am threaded. Yeah, I'm just going to stitch just a little bit along here, just don't need to, but I thought that would be quite nice. And then again on this one, going into the thread, into the fabric, rather than into thin air with the machine. Be good if we could keep it straight as well. But that just finishes that top edge off. Don't know why I've got a bit of thread there, but so I've got a little bit at the top, and let's just trim that little bit there, because this will be showing at the sides. Oh, there's a little bit there as well. Oh, let's get my little snippers there easier. Okay, so number 1 and number 2. There we go. Oh, one behind that. And trimmed. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold it in halves like that, and then I'm going to press it so that I've got a nice crease down there. So I won't move the camera over, but I'll just press that, and just press this one too, like so. That's it. Just so that you see. So I've just pressed along there, so it's pressed in half, like so. So we're going to use those in just a moment. But what we need to do first of all is just deal with our zipped pouch. So here it is. Now we can quite easily trim this piece off here, which is fine. So I'll just cut that zip off that end. Here, what we do need to do is just make sure that the zip is past there before we trim that off. So I'm going to pop a pin just here, just for the moment, like that. And then I'm going to trim that bit off now, because we don't really want that to pull off. So if it's a little bit, I'm just going to trim down here so that it's just minimally, I'm just making sure that it's completely straight and together. And similarly here, take those little bits off. So we've got a nice straight edge. So trim those now, no zip here. And I think the best one to do first of all is to pop the side where the zip is into here. So all we're going to do is pop that inside, like so. We just take that down. So I'm just laying that into the fold with the tiniest bit left at the bottom, and the zip is roughly level with the top of our shape. So let's just move that zip along a little bit there so it's not in the way. And now, if you want to, I did have some here, didn't I? If you want to pop some, where did I put those? Oh, here's some binding clips if you've got them. Pop yourself a binding clip on there just to hold it. So I'm pushing the edge of the pouch into this section. So just make sure, I'm just looking to see that that's even there, and I can feel that those this side has gone into there. And then the same with this one. So it's the wider part here at the top and the narrow part at the bottom. So let's just put that around like that. So I've got my fold. The top of this will be level with the zip. So that comes across like that. But you want to make sure that is level there as well. So that's nice and level. And we can pop another clip on there just to hold that. And then at the bottom here. So just make sure, I'm trying to make sure there's the same amount, perhaps it needs to go up just a tiny bit. Same at the bottom on each side, and that way it will be nice and level. So I'll put that one at the bottom, and then at the top here, just fold that over, making sure those two line up there, so that the zip is completely, that edge down there has the raw edges of our pouch. Okay, so nice easy bit next. We're going to stitch about 1/4 of an inch, which I have got there, 1/4 of an inch seam allowance down this edge. So making sure it's on the fabric, and I would do a little reverse at the beginning. So stitch through there and then reverse and carry on down right to the bottom edge. Take those binding clips off when we get down there, and then just a little reverse just at the bottom of the pouch there. And then again, what we can do, doesn't matter, we can either start from the bottom, so that's what I'm going to do here. So pop that under, and again start stitching and then reverse. So you don't want to go right on the very edge. We need to be 1/4 of an inch so that it traps all of those raw edges. So right up to the top and reverse there and cut. So again, let's just take away those little bits of thread, a little bit at the top here. Okay, so nice and easy, isn't it, so far? Nice and straightforward, nothing too challenging, and the more of these you do, the easier it will become. So you can just check to make sure all the raw edges have disappeared. They are there. There we've got our zipped pouch in here with not an open bottom. So that's nicely, there we are, nicely in place, covering all those raw edges up. So next thing, let's just go out a little bit so you can see a little bit more. So we're going to start if we just have a look at our long piece so that we know roughly what it's going to look like. So this is our flap. I can feel that this side is my lining. Easier to see if you've got a different coloured lining. So what is going to happen, it's going to be like that. So if you imagine, this is the flap's going to come over here. So this, our pouch, is going to sit here. So it's going to sit there, and then this is going to come over the top. You see that? So this is the straight edge at the bottom, is going to sit here. So, and this is the best way to do it, so that you look to see where it's going, because having placed it here, what you're going to do is pull this flap out. So I've opened that up, and that is going to sit here. Okay, so don't worry about the other side at the minute. So this is going to sit level with the top. I'm going to put a pin there. Okay, so we're just working on that diagonal edge. So here's my zipped piece. There is my zipped piece. I'm just working on this diagonal edge here, and we're going to stitch it together down this edge. So let's just turn that around because it's easier. And we're going to stitch that, line those edges up, right down to the bottom there, as far as we can get down here. So just with that pin at the top, let's start it here. Don't stretch the fabric. And this time I am going to stitch closer to the edge. So it's not going to be 1/4 of an inch. I would do it about 1/8 of an inch. So let's just start stitching here. And again, at the top, I would just reverse and then stitch down. Now, what you need to do is pull this bit out of the way so that we can line that up perfectly. And what you'll have in here is the edge of the zipped pouch. So you just want to pull that out of the way so that you can stitch down here nicely. So I've still got that lined up, and just make sure that is coming down, and just reverse there. That's it, let's just put that behind there. Okay, oh, I didn't cut my threads. Let's cut my thread there. Right, so let's just trim that off. Oh, I can see that's why it didn't like that very much. So let me just go back in there because it didn't stitch it down. So let's go just back again. That's better. So let's just reverse. Okay. Cut threads, not cut threads. Oh, okay. Let's go from the other side. The machine is not, for some reason, not liking that very much. So I'm just going to go from the other side and just stitch this bottom part. I think it's because my zip, the foot is not laying down. There we go, that's better. Let's just trim those bits away. It's making the foot not come flush to the fabric. Let's just trim those off. So there we have our first part fixed. Let's get that bit of thread out of the way as well. So then we can either, and we will, so now we've got that part in, I'm going to go to the other side. So again, that's how it should be. And then I'm going to pull this flap out and lay it next to the part here. So we will start. Now what you can make sure, I'm just going to pop a pin at this top edge here, just to hold that in place. But just make sure that at this bottom edge, that is level across there. So let's just see, we can just move that back, and I'm starting on that inner side. Oh, I know what I'll do actually. I'll move my needle right over there. It's because a bigger part of the foot is going onto that raised part. So let's just stitch there and then just reverse. So move the that seam out of the way if it's getting in your way, and just stitch up there and reverse at the top and cut. Okay, so we've now got that first piece. Can you see? Forget those pieces there. We've got our first piece in, and that is going to fold in there like so. So it's like the concertina. Now we're going to pull this part up, because that's how it's going to look there. And we can work with one side at a time. So here is one side. So we're going to pull this part out so that that is going to align with this edge here. So I'm just going to turn it this way, because what we want to do is pull that bit out at the bottom so that that lines up. We can see that's going around there nicely, and I'm going to put a pin in there, or no, I'll put a binding clip just to hold that in place, and then just bring that the rest of the side. No, I'm not, because that pushes it in. That's it. I'm going to put a pin there because that will hold it a little bit more firmly. And so there is our pin. And then just allow that edge, this diagonal edge here, to line up with the rest of the edge there. So I'm going to pop that under the machine. So just move the rest of those layers out of the way, and we can pop this here as well. I'll just move that a little bit. Pins, Trisha, pins. Okay, so that's lined up there nicely. And I'm going to just reverse a bit there. So what I would suggest when you're stitching this, use a foot. You could use your zipper foot, would be a really good one to use going down here, because we just don't want the whole of the foot. If you can move this bit back, really good also. You want to pull the the bulky part out of the way. Now that's stitching right down to the point really nicely. So one side is complete there. You see how that concertinas? And then all we're going to do, let's just clip that out of the way. And that little bit there, because we don't want these threads, do we? Oh, there's a thread down there as well. And then we're going to work on the other side, because this side is still loose. So this side is going to pull out as well. So go down to that bottom part and make sure that lines up at the bottom, and then that diagonal edge is going to sit level with there. So I am going to look here just to make sure we want it to be even as the other side. So I'm just going to pop that in, and I'm going to put a pin down here. It's just make sure that's nice and smooth there, and we'll put a pin at this point to hold it in place. It'll go through those layers quite nicely. And then just have a look up here. We'll put a couple of binding clips just to hold that, so that I can test to see that that's nice and level. So I've got my binding clips there, and when that, I think that looks as though it's going to be work fine. Looks a bit strange because I've got the pin going through there, but when I look at it here, you want this point here and this one to be horizontally straight. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start at the bottom. So if you can, just pull that little bit back so that you're not working on that. So I'm just going to push that out of the way so that I can get my foot on there to hold that. This part at the bottom here is probably the only part that might cause you a little bit of aggravation, but just push all of that seam allowance there that's from the zip pouch out of the way, and then you can just work your way up the side. And I'm just making sure that's it. I'm making sure that that diagonal, or those edges, which are all neatened edges, there's no raw edges up there, just keeping them out of the way. I should have just pulled that zip back a bit, because that, there we are. Then just push these out of the way so that the fabric just sits there nicely. And when I get to the top there, just reverse, just to give that a bit of strength there as well. So let's have a look there. We'll give a little bit of that thread out the way there, and there's a bit just there. Just trim that away, and basically that is it. So that just sits just inside there. Can you see at the bottom? And that sits nice and neatly there. We have then got our zipped pouch here, and then those bits fold neatly, there we go, neatly into there. Just saw some little bits of thread. So the front is just slightly hot, so that it covers your zipped pouch there, and you have your zip in there. So nice little holder, put your sewing tools in there, that would work, or whatever you feel that you would like to have in there. But there is your little zipped pouch. I should put a popper on there, but I haven't. Okay, ideal for your patterns if we make it bigger. It would, wouldn't it? Perhaps that's what I should do. Oops, there we go. Yeah, could make it bigger, couldn't we? But as you saw, it's nice and easy. Just putting this this little gusset in the side. Challenge? Do you think challenging? No, I don't think challenging. I think you'll be absolutely fine. So I wish I'd brought my popper up here so that I could put that. But Nice, nice and easy. That looks, I'm not putting that down very... I'm always... Oh, I think it's this. There we are. That's better. That's straight on now. Yeah. So there we are. Just like... Now I wonder if it was this one. No. So as I said, along this gusset here, I top stitched on my one here. Don't know whether it makes any difference at all, but I top stitched along that folded edge. My other ones I didn't. But no, they're just nice little wallet and really not too bad to make at all. But all the measurements, as I say, are on... Oh, lovely Sharon, thank you. Thank you. Measurements are in the PDF, along with the template for that. It's basically a triangle with a little bit longer at the bottom, and that the longer, well, it's a short edge, but it wraps around your pouch. And I suppose what I ought to do is develop it and do another one that's got more zip pouches in it. I could. And perhaps I will. For those of you that would like it that are not in the Sew with Trisha group, though, you can visit the website. There's not a picture there yet, because I'd forgotten to take a picture. Oh, thank you, Marianne. It will be useful. Have a good weekend to you too. And thank you, Pollyanne, and thank you, Anne. You are all so, so kind. So, if any of you, last night we had the mini fabric sale, and if any of you missed that, there's, I've got a fair bit of bees left, and the beautiful moments. Have a look at the video from last night on this page. Thank you, Sue. And you'll see the fabrics that we are. The only things, there may be some fat 8s left. Some of them have sold out. I think the bee panels have sold out as well, but, oh yes, a passport would go in there. Passport would go in there easily, yes. And your phone and everything. Thank you, Nikki. So sorry I didn't say hello to absolutely everybody, but I've warmed myself up a little bit now up here. I think it's all the talking and the iron being on. Yeah, keeps me a little bit warmer. So that's what it looked like when you've got your little press stud. You could put a little bit of Velcro there if you wanted, or a press stud that you actually sew on. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, so as I was saying, there's a few bits of fabric if you wanted to have a look. I should be sending out next Tuesday, so thank you. The majority of you, vast majority, have all paid, so I shall be cracking on, not tomorrow, but Sunday. I need to visit Mum tomorrow and have a little bit of company, a little bit of Mum and me time. It is, I know, it's a small room. It's not tiny, but I've got things in each side, yeah. Oh dear, it will always be here, Ellen, for you to watch, so don't worry. Just get your PDF downloaded as well. So, I don't think there's anything else. Thank you, Tony. Might be a bit... When I start to cough, that's because I've been talking too much. Never mind. Okay, so take care of yourselves. Have a lovely evening, followed by a lovely weekend. Let's hope the weather... And forget Deirdre, or whoever you said. Who did you say, Fiona? Forget that, Deborah. Was it Deborah Storm? Whoever. Thank you, Karen. I will. I'm going to teach her. You know that pouch we made that was fold, small, in 3 sizes last month? Thanks, Lindsay. I'm going to show her how to make those, because she does like to make little things for her stall that she has at the church Christmas fair. So, yes, I'm going to get her into those so that she can have a play. So, have a lovely, lovely weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday in the group with a Deborah. Yeah, good. Storm Deborah. Go away, Storm Deborah. Don't bother to visit us. I'll be back with a brand new bag. I'll give my love to Pearl. I will indeed. Thank you, all of you. You're so, so kind. She'll probably be watching because she does find me now. And she tells me about it, so I know she's been watching. So, hi, Mum, if you're watching. I'll be with you tomorrow. Yes, brand new bag next Tuesday in the group. Looking forward to it. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you then. Thanks for joining me tonight. Bye for now.